Hello and welcome to yet another cast. For you today I have a 5v5 Blade on the Neurox's map generator. I know, always a lot of Mapgen. We have team 1 up here on the top, team 2 down here on the bottom. I was confused by the colors for a moment and the order right here on the side, but now it does fit. Let's start with the westernmost position for team 1. In this hot pink we have a Furnace Haley going Seraphim and opening first land. Then to the east of that, in this fecal brown, we have Kenny Lee going not going Seraphim, going Cybran, also opening first land. Then to the east of that, in yellow, also opening first land, we have Zelda Fanboy going Aeon. No, what's with me getting factions wrong? No, going Cybran. Give me a moment. I'm gonna be getting back on it. That's right. Yeah. Anyway, to the south of that we have Judah X going UEF. This time I actually got it right. In red and opening first land. And last but not least, to the south of that we have Ayahuasca in grey, opening first land and going Seraphim. Right, now to the southern team, team 2. On their easternmost position, in this lighter pink, we have Wakatha going Cybran and opening first land. Then to the west of that, in white, opening first land and going UEF, we have Karl Marx. Not going Cybran, surprisingly, not going with the socialist, with the space socialists. We'll see whether or not they will claim some of the means of production or shit like that. I don't know. Anyway, to the west of that, in this darker military green-ish, we have Hyper going first land and playing UEF. To the north of that, in orange and also going UEF and opening first land, we have the little guy. Doesn't look that small, to be honest. And anyway, to the north of that we have, in this darker grey, we have Nightblood also going UEF and opening first land. Lot of UEF for the southern team. Looking at that, yeah, they are, with the exception of Wakatha, all UEF. So northern team definitely a lot more diverse. Right, about the map, as already pointed out, it's Mapgen, and the space size right here is 20k, though since we are scaled down, I believe this to be a 15k map. Reclaim is spread quite a lot around the middle. Looking... okay, we have some tank tracks just dotted around. T1 and T2 tanks, I believe, yeah. I think those 130 spots are T2, those... I think those may be... what should I call them? Those may be places. And those 130 racks. Could be wrong though. But Wakatha already getting started on a large production hub in that area. And let's take a look. Scouting going out from the southern team. There's also a scout out from the northern team, from Zelda Fanboy. And right here we see Nightblood pushing out very aggressively, already having moved past this pond right here, claiming these maxes, which Ayahuasca also already did. Ayahuasca Dest, apparently. Sorry about missing that part. Now let's maybe take a look at ratings. If I see this correctly, the highest rated player in this game is Furnace Haley at 1800. After that we have Ruggetha at 1700, and after that a bunch of 15 and 1400s. That's getting very close after that. But Judax is the lowest rated player at 1100. Right. What I just heard is that we have some combo crashing right down here between Ayahuasca and Ruggetha, with both commanders currently skirmishing. And Ayahuasca killing off quite a few of the engineers that were meant to reclaim the stuff, I guess. Or build in the area, not too sure. And a similar stuff going on up here between Nightblood and For the Sailing. Nightblood also stealing a little bit of reclaim, but not too much. And Furnace seems to have got most of that. Now, we already have an early transport out from Hyper, which apparently was used to drop off some engineers right here. I guess in order to get some faster ecoing going, as that reclaim makes building up an economy a lot easier. And this position now being pushed by the commander of Ruggetha. These maxes right here. With more production facilities being already built up right here by Ayahuasca. It's gonna take me a moment to get back into reading names quickly enough and stuff like that, I don't know. Technically it's been as long as always between casts, but I guess I'm just a bit more tired than usual or something like that, I don't know. But that's that currently going on. Marx is pushing up with the commander into this position on this causeway to Judah X. I guess they will be fighting each other. With with already some armies or units out from Marx currently proceeding. And yes, I'm probably gonna refer to them as Marx because, well, if they choose to be named Karl Marx, then I think it's a fitting name. And it's shorter. And at least I'm from the name that's more usually used to shorten the full name, so yeah, I'm just gonna stick with that for now. Some Tier 1 bombers out from Ayahuasca, trying to harass Ruggetha and their units. Also dropping some bombs, doing some damage, but not too much. The units from Ruggetha that were used to push back Ayahuasca have been mostly killed off now. I think, yeah. And this PD right here put in some damage into that spam army. So it was definitely very effective in supporting that, I guess. But Morg's also sending over some units right here to support. And though those currently seem to be pushing up here into the causeway onto this position, which is fair enough as it currently seems to be barely defended. More bombers are coming out from Ayahuasca, as well as a army of notable size for the stage. Amex seems to be taken out, as well as maybe some engineers, but no major damage done by the bomber for the stage of the game, as single Amexes are easily rebuilt. Now let's see what's going on here. The little guy did a very aggressive push with the commander to take the 4 max position right here, but is now being attacked from 2 sides by both Furnace Haley and Kenny Lee, and is taking heavy fire. At the same time, there's also a small skirmish of units going on in the south right here, and those are mostly being killed off now. However, the commander of the little guy already down into the yellow, taking quite a bit of damage. But there's a small relief force coming out from Nightblood, distracting the units for Nassali, and now also reinforcements of the little guy coming in from the south. So I believe that ACU will be safe. If we see a comic ejection in a few moments, I will be proven wrong, but I don't think that will happen. Now, Nightblood is also facing a pretty sizable force out from Fornacerli, and thus evicting them from this forward position they grabbed. They were able to throw up a factory, though that will be about to go down. Not finishing another unit, and even as if that factory did finish another unit, we just saw what happened to that one striker, which died pretty fast. The water, however, fortunately is quite close, so I suspect that Nightblood will be able to just move into this and get away quite safely. Let's take another look at the other side. A T2 upgrade going up for Ayahuasca, so I suspect that there will be some firebasing going on. There is a gun upgrade out from Wackerthor, which can be used to aggressively push this position right now. As there's no major spam force, that would probably work out quite well. Ayahuasca also does not have any gun upgrade of their own, and with this small amount of spam and just one T1 PD, I think a gun ACU would be able to easily push this position. Let's see, there's a small template run by right here again out from Kenny Lee, though there are already units from Arcs responding. Quickly taking out these nuisances, these intruders. And Wackerthor decided to start a push with the commander, and Marks is also coming in with their own gun upgrade. Marks does have a gun now, apparently. Ayahuasca finishes TT2 upgrade. A overcharge goes out against the PD, and the PD is about to die. Yep, there it goes. And the ACU of Ayahuasca immediately started building T1 PDs. A very good call, as T1 PDs have a higher DPS than the T2 PD, and are built up faster. And especially when you're facing an opponent that's just pushing into you, T1 PD is generally the better choice, as the low range does not matter as much. The production facilities seem to be taken out. I guess Marks redistributing the means of production, or something like that. Taking them from the northern team, so that they may be acquired by a southern team. Anyway, Ayahuasca is moving into the pond with their forces being completely taken out, and facing still a very sizable force out from Wackerthor, as well as two commanders in form of Karl Marx and Wackerthor's ACUs. What I did miss is that there was a small run by right here on the side by Thornacerli. They had managed to move past the lines of Nightblood. And that did take out quite a few Maxes, a Hydro, I think also some Pigeons. Though there is now a broadsword out from Hyper on it to help take that out. Hyper apparently already at T3 air, yep. Also already with the Pigeon build. Let's see how that looks for Zelda Fanboy. And they also already have T3 with their T3 Pigeon build and already ASF out. There are also ASF out from Hyper, so they will be capable to defend against that. However, the Thousand Sailor is continuing to push with this primarily T1 force. The commander of Nightblood that is down in the red is moving in again to try and help defend, though they will have to be very careful as this commander is at very low health and can easily be taken out, especially by the Suis. If it takes too much fire, it will die. However, these factories being used very effectively to block off damage, as the ACU can fire through the factories of their own team, I believe. And thus, these can only be, unlike the enemy, whose shells do generally collide with your factories, thus allowing Nightblood to soak up some damage with those factories without taking any of their own. However, there are also some Ishwas in here which will be very, very dangerous for this commander. There's a lot of overcharging going on, but they will definitely need a level of veterancy to survive this, as they are down below 1k. They managed to get another rank of veterancy, pushing them back up into the yellow for a moment. But they quickly drop back down into the red, though the higher region will probably be very effective, and there are now more broadswords coming in to help defend, thus allowing this position to continue, thus allowing Nightblood to continue existing. Also this position, but I wanted to talk about Nightblood, just having the wrong words there for a moment. Now, how's the stuff looking? There is a major push, well, I wouldn't call it a major, maybe more of a medium-sized push coming out from Kenny Lee and Zelda Fanboy. Though there is already a force to counter out from the little guy, with Karl Marx also moving in units to try and defend. Though the push is just running by into the base of Nightblood and taking out Maxus, which is going to be very, very painful, as Nightblood's economy is currently has already suffered pretty badly, with them losing all of this, and now this. And I also believe quite a few P-gens, which is also very painful to see always, in general. On that note, now that things have slowed down a little bit, let's take a look at economies. Economies basically even between both teams right now, with Hyper currently seemingly leading the pack at 190 mass income, followed up by Rekatha at 150, though I guess the team average is just pulled down quite a bit by Nightblood currently only being on 18, due to losing their base just now. There are now gun upgrades coming out from Little Guy and Nightblood. Nightblood now on 4 ranks of veterancy after this push, and does over 16,000 HP with 34 regen. But also nano repair upgrade going out for Little Guy. I guess they intend to use that commander a lot more aggressively now, and does want some extra HP pool. A very, very fair decision to make. Let's see, there's currently a small push going out against Ayahuasca, who just upgraded gun and is now going for tactical missile. There are some users out from Rekatha trying to push that, but they are running into pillars and a gun commander, as well as T2PD, though that wasn't capable of hitting due to the way the terrain is built, with the area sloping up this way. And with the turret being on the lower ground, it has difficulty hitting anything in this area. Anything that's further up the hill. There are pillars. Were they given UEF tech, or were those just gifted over? I think the pillars were just gifted over. Though a max has been gifted over as well for them to get additional eco, but yeah. The There is a lot of T2 protection out from Judex, so I suspect they just gave it over. Now T3 land is out for Kenny Lee. We had 16 minutes, so it shouldn't be too surprising. T3 land also out for Furnace Haley. And I didn't check the main base of Ayahuasca. And there is T2 air and currently no tech land. On the other side, for Rockefeller we have T2 land and... okay, we also have T3 land. Marx has has currently acquired T2 in the process of acquiring T3. Or getting T3, or however you want to refer to that. And then we have T2 out for the little guy. And currently also T2 out for Nightblood, though I don't believe they have Deco to support that. No, they don't. Again, not too surprised with what was going on. Also, something killed off quite a few maxes for the little guy. Very painful to see. Let me check if there are any tech missile launchers. Cannot see any right now, so maybe a bomber or something, I don't know. But the commanders of the little guy and Nightblood both being used very aggressively, both with gun and nano, thus being very chunky ACUs, especially Nightblood, who is now on 5 ranks of veterancy and does over 20,000 HP. And that is just insane. Though it could be even more insane if they got shield. However, UEF shield is a rather expensive upgrade, so I understand why they would not go for that. A interesting decision right here on the eastern side by Ayahuasca is that they decided to go for some naval production, building up some frigates, I guess to keep the shores clean. And they are currently in the process of going T2, so I'd love to see some cruisers in this pond to just missile away at everything in range, which would probably be somewhere across this line. And that would definitely cause some very, very devastating damage. Now, this looks like Marx is currently in the process of pushing a bit north. Very, very slow, but there is a small army massing right here in the middle, and I believe that may be continuing to push on. Though not too sure. What I just noticed is that apparently this plateau has been dropped by side of Envoy. Very interesting. But what's currently a lot more aggressive is this double commander push out from the little guy and Nightblood. And both pushing their commanders into the forces of Furnace Haley, who is now bringing in Othams. And while their commanders are very chunky with those nano and gun upgrades, and also just being UEF, and thus having a higher HP pool, I think that this is a very, very risky play, as they are still facing T3, and especially sniper bolts could quickly just ruin their day, as they do outrange these gun commanders quite a bit and also deal quite a bit of damage. I think Nightblood potentially seeing the risks, deciding to pull back. The little guy deciding that maybe it's worth to try and keep pushing, and thus keeps going. And Rockefeller built an experimental unit. Right down here. A Monkey Lord. Did not take a look at what experimentals are being constructed, so was not aware of that. T2 has been achieved right here. And Ayahuasca was trying to be creep, but that's quickly stopped by the ACU of Rockefeller and just general spam. Now, anyway, let's see, are there any experimentals in the works for the Northern team? Yes, there is a Monkey Lord coming out from Kenny Lee. And I think that's it. Yeah. There is a push coming in from the little guy right here, into the base of Kenny Lee. But that push is primarily T1 now facing up against T3 with some T2 supporting, so that will be quickly defeated, and the little guy was defeated by Thanos Haley and I completely missed that. I guess it was just a superior army of units coming in or something like that, maybe sniper bots, I don't know. But the exact thing that I prophesied would happen did happen in the end. Now, are there any other experiments involved with the southern team? Cannot see any at this moment in time. I may be blind, maybe I'm also correct. Monkload is about to reach the front line of Ayahuasca, and that is going to be very dangerous for this commander. If Ayahuasca does not react to this in time, they will just die. Though they seem to have realized what's going on and decide to move into the water. While the Monkload does have torpedoes, I don't think they are that great. Especially not in comparison with the Seraphim Destroyer right here that is also there to defend, and there are now also gunships and T1 bombers coming in to again deal with this Monkey God. So I don't think that will be too much of an issue. Marks, in the meantime, pushing in right here, evading these units out from Kenny Lee, and going into this completely undefended area of Judah X. Though this looks like it has been spotted, the PD that was quickly thrown up by Zelda Fanboy is just hitting the cliff and thus not actually hitting anything. As I guess the turret is not tall enough and does not have the necessary gun depression to hit at closer ranges. The Monkey Lord from Kenny Lee seems to have finished. Yes, it did. Let's take a look at this Monkey Lord. Yeah, it's pulling out of the water as it cannot really hit the ACU of Ayahuasca. It does now also being hit by BD and the Seraphim Destroyer. And yeah, it's a Destroyer, yes. I actually got that right. And Rockefeller was defeated by Judex. Did not see where that came from, though I believe that it may have been the stack missile bank that I completely missed being built up. Did the Monkey Lord pay for itself? No, it did not. Unfortunate. And yes, this is actually played on partial shares, so all economy structures are being gifted over, however all units are just die. But yes, these tech missiles very dangerous, and quite a lot of them. Sorry about that. And they are firing again, going after the commander of Karl Marx, who does have T2 and is under the shields, so they will not take quite as much damage. There's also some TMD, so a few of these missiles will get shot down. And they survive just at 2k HP, and seeing the risk are pulling that commander back, even control K-ing the engineers and units that were right here so that they could make a quicker escape. And in the process of that, I completely missed the push of Thanos Haley into the main base of Nightblood, which did take out the commander. Again, very unfortunate, both that I missed it and that it happened. But with that, even more is given over to Karl Marx, so they are seizing the means of production, even though they probably did not intend to in this case. I don't know, I have to try and make some socialism jokes, sorry. The name is just too perfect for that. But they seem to have achieved T3 tech on land, as they do have some processors out. Yeah, these are all producing T3. So the HQ for that is bound to be summoned back. Here it is. A Fat Boy is being built up by Hyper. That will probably be very useful. And cruisers now being built up in quite high numbers by Ayahuasca on this side. Let's take a look what's the range of those. Right, it's right here. Well, right here. So definitely a few maxes, a few factories. It's gonna be annoying to deal with that, that's for sure. And also with the tactical missile launcher on the ASU as well, that's gonna be additional pain. Nox taking a lot of additional damage. I think there were some Corsairs that were coming in trying to snipe the commander. Commander down to 700 HP, down to below 200. Taking another Corsair, taking more fire from Corsairs. Being in a lot of danger. There are now T1 bombers coming in, though those are shot down before they can actually drop their bombs. Thus the commander's only taking the damage from having the Rex dropped on it. Which is not that high. I hear some... I know this firing pattern. Don't know what it is, but it sounds familiar. I think it's Cypern T2 tanks. Though I do not see where they would be fighting right now. Anyway, in the meantime there are also demolishers right here out from Mars bombarding the stuff of JJX in general, I guess. Mostly this army that's now massing right here. That is mostly consisting of Titans. Seriously, where are the... where are currently the Rhinos firing? I think those would be Rhinos. Interesting to see is that there is a nuke launcher out from Hyper. How does SMD look? There is no SMD in this base. Or in this. Or this. Or this base. And also not in this base. So no player on the northern team currently equipped with SMD. This is very dangerous. More Corsairs coming in from Zelda Fanboy. And they are taking out a few maxes out from Karl Marx. How much income is Marx looking at? 580. Pretty close to their teammates, so the wealth seems to be pretty equally distributed right now. Though they are sitting on quite a bit currently with a full mass bar at 25k. At least I think that may be full. Well, not really full, but they are still sitting on quite a bit of mass that is not being reinvested into the economy. That is definitely not acceptable, or something like that. Just storing up that wealth. Now, in an attempt to deal with these cruisers firing into the position or into the influence range of Marx, there is now a force of bricks pushing into that. Close to that, trying to take out the cruisers, I guess, though they stop conveniently outside of the gun range to the cruisers and decide to pull back instead of actually pushing on that. Well, never mind then. More tactical missiles coming in, and there's no one near enough TMD to take that out. I think the thing that was fired on was already dead. Yeah. Those are firing on maxes that no longer exist. And they also know that those maxes no longer exist. Well, it's their call to make. Megalith is under construction out from Karl Marx right down here in the base that once belonged to Wackelfer. That will probably be very effective in actually dealing with the Navy in the longer term. And a Fat Boy has been built right here. I think that maybe... Never mind, that's not the one that Hyper built. I think that one has actually been built up by Karl Marx. Very interesting. And it's currently being used to fire into these reclaiming entries. Which is a decent call to make, as it does deny reclaim. The game does turn a lot more static right now, with not a lot of aggression going on. And just a whole bunch of cruisers firing into a whole bunch of bricks. Would love to see some loyalists in here to just bounce back these these missiles back into the cruisers and just take those out that way, because if I remember correctly, while the missiles are retargeted, they are technically still counted as coming from that team, thus not actually shot down by TMD. Could be wrong on that, they may have changed that, but that's the last thing I remember to that, so if that still works like that, then that would be very funny. The megalith seems to have finished and is now moving up. Currently no new experiment is started. And more tactical missiles firing in. What are those targeted on? Maybe this one T1 max, so nothing too valuable.
Strategic launch detected.
And Hyper seems to have finished loading the nuke and has launched the first one, and this is going for the main base of Ayahuasca. Ayahuasca, not Ayahuasca. Very sorry about that. So let's take another look if there are any SMBs not built up. None up here. Can't see any here in that base. There is one built up for Kenny Lee now that is heavily assisted and is loaded. And there are two currently out from Furnace Haley. One for the forward that's currently not loaded, and one that is very heavily assisted and is about to load. However, the nuke does land, and we get this beautiful UEF mushroom cloud. Well, never mind, it's not really that much of a mushroom, it's just a spherical explosion that... Okay, it is now moving up. I think it does form a mushroom now. Mushroom cloud. Yeah, it does. Beautiful UEF nukes. And it does completely just wipe out the core base of Ayahuasca. Let's see how much mass it actually could. 45,000 mass. I would say that definitely paid for itself. And how does the economy of Ayahuasca look? They are currently stalling power, since they lost their main power production. Though they currently still have quite a bit stored. However, as soon as that runs out, that will be quite annoying. And they are currently overflowing quite a bit of mass that they cannot really spend. Now, major push coming out from Karl Marx right here in this middle causeway. Pushing through and taking out the launchers, these technical missile launchers that were placed there. With the megalith pushing in as well, providing some very high alpha firepower. And the bricks providing a lot of tankiness. What I did not notice is that there was a nuke launcher built up by Judex. And that is now under serious threat from this land push. Unsurprising, as that did come quite close to the front. And there is a whole bunch of T3 and T2 AA in here as well, helping defend against these T1 bombers and these gunships. Though these cookers are probably not going to be as effective, I think. Yeah, there is some flak, there are some skyboxes right here. And there are also the bouncers from the Siren. But the nuke launcher does go down, more T1 bombers come in. However, there is now an air response out from Hyper, and with that, basically all the air right here has been taken out. The Magnev continues to push, and I think with that we may witness a complete coring of the main base of Judex. Which is very, very sad for them to see. Now there are some whalers coming in from side of Fanboy. And though those are, well, there isn't much AA left right now, or in the close to that right now, so it will probably do quite a bit of damage. Would love to see the Fatboy, not the Fatboy, the Maglev being used to build up some mobile AA, as the Megalith does have the ability to produce units, or lay eggs, if you can see it down here, and you can place these down. I can't because I'm obviously currently observer, or they could also just be used to just spam up some flag. Sorry about that again. But oh well. Maybe another time. Now we see a Megalith out from Kenny Lee moving in to try and support against that. Trying to prevent that push, and there's another Megalith that has been built up, now moving south. Something else that I missed is that there is a nuke launcher that has been built up by Thornus Haley. Has that been scouted? No, it has not. They are currently not aware that that is a nuke launcher. Now the Megalith, the general Megalith push did basically completely core the base of Judah X, as already expected. And I think they are also about to take out the main base of Zelda Fanboy. Yep. Factory is going down, and yeah, Pigeon's going down as well, and with that the Echo just dies. The AHQ also under serious threat. Taking quite a bit of fire, though that has been stopped. Since the units are now retargeting onto the other Megalith. And this Megalith now at 3 ranks of veterancy, thus getting a lot of additional HP, I think around 30k additional HP, as well as an S75 regen, making that Megalith a lot tankier than this one. Yep, and this one's about to go down. That goes. Giving this one another rank of veterancy, putting it up to a 15,000 HP. No, 150,000 HP, sorry. Yeah, I had that number at the wrong... I cut that number off at the wrong spot, so... Yeah, it did get wrong, but did notice it at least. With the Megalith currently still sitting at a whopping 35,000 HP. Which you wouldn't expect considering the fact that it is in the red and at quite low health, but... Well, the Megalith just has a ridiculous amount of HP. Being the only base game unit to actually be able to tank a nuke, if I remember correctly. I'm pretty sure it can definitely tank a naval nuke, but if I remember correctly, normal nuke does deal 100,000 damage, with naval nuke dealing 50,000. And with that, the Megalith is actually able to tank that. I could also be getting that wrong with naval nukes dealing 100,000 and normal nukes 250,000, but I think it was this way around. Don't quote me on that though. I can always be wrong. And I'm not gonna take any responsibility for that. Thus, I'm always just gonna point out I could be wrong there. But anyway, major push out with a whole bunch of Percivals and a Fat Boy. Coming out from Karl Marx, and I apparently missed a broadsword snipe on the ACU of Judah X, which was apparently right here. Again, very sorry about that. But these Percivals dealing a shit ton of damage, as Percivals do, having a incredibly high Alpha Strike. His gunships now also moving in onto that Megalith, taking it down very rapidly, and with that Fat Boy fire, it's just down. The Fat Boy is sitting at 4 stars of veterancy with only 17,000 HP, the Fat Boy just having a very narrow HP pool. As I already pointed out, a lot of times in previous casts, the Fat Boy being more of a unit you should use to I can't remember the word right now. To kite? Yes, that's the word. It's more of a kiting unit than a pushing unit, or... Well, it can be used to push, but it definitely heavily relies on a army pushing up with it that is moving forward and taking all the damage. Or taking out any potential T2R team. It's not very good at pushing on its own, but when it can be used, when it gets its firepower to bear without taking any damage, it is very, very effective with its high as these guns still have a pretty high DPS. The other thing being, it is technically a mobile factory, though we currently don't see that utilized, so it can reclaim the battlefield right while pushing up. Now, the shield for that was down, but it does not seem like Karl Marx seems to be stalling power right now, as their shields are on in the main base, and the Fatboy shields should be about to turn on again with that. Now, 2 Maglev out for Kenny Lee defending, one pulling back and thus not able to fire. The other now turning in as well, and does, well, never mind, it turns back. But, okay, and this one turns back now as well, but all these possibles just dumping their fire into one of the Maglevs. And you can see how quickly that just goes down. At the same time, there's also a push of possibles coming out from Hyper, trying to get into the main base of Bonus Haley, but there is a chicken waiting, and thus there is not too much damage done with that. The Fatboy continuing to pour in damage with a whopping 67,000 mass killed. Again, the Fatboy is very effective when it gets when used properly. And I think that Karl Marx may actually have some power struggles, as that shield just popped off. But the Fatboy now sitting at 5 ranks of veterancy. It's very effective. Now, I mean, certain casters may say the Fatboy does not have, is just a unfeasible unit, and maybe that is correct in a meta sense, or in the sense of meta, or when just utilized on its own. But when it has a but when it's kiting away and has a supporting army, preventing anything from actually getting close enough damage it, or just soaking up the damage instead, it is definitely very, very powerful. Though it should never be sent out on its own. So, as I will say for all units, it definitely has its purpose. I would never say that any unit in this game is not feasible. You just need to use it correctly. But as in many situations, you can't. You're not gonna have much success trying to put the square peg into the round hole. I mean, it is doable. You just need enough force, of course. In this case, enough force being just enough of that unit. But it's never an effective solution. Right, in the meantime, there is a small push coming out from a bunch of bricks out from Marx against the position of Ayahuasca. Now there is a shit ton of PD and torpedo launchers, and destroyers, and cruisers, so those are just taken out very effectively without doing too much damage.
Strategic launch detected.
And the nuke comes out, it's out from Hyper, and it is going for the main base of Furnace Haley, where this SMD and this SMD both died to the push that we just witnessed. So, and I don't think Furnace Haley noticed. They may have noticed just now. They definitely did launch the nuke, their own nuke now, so I think they did notice in time and also moved the commander away, so they will survive this, though the main base will die to that. That is also unfortunate timing, as they are currently building a massive mass fab farm. Massive mass fab farms, which they may not be able to power with their main base gone. Now, massive scouting wave coming out from Karl Marx, I guess trying to spot what's going on. We have another Maglev out from Kenny Lee, and we have a major push right here coming out from Hyper. Again with a whole bunch of Percivals just marching in, and with Furnace Haley having lost most of their base and production, I don't think there's much left to actually stop that, unfortunately. And Zelda Fanboy seems to have gone for an attempted tail snipe on the Duke. However, there were a whole bunch of strat bombers already in place for Hyper that were able to quickly take out the ACU, as those have been built up, I guess, in an attempt to snipe. With that, the ASF from Sadafanboy that were coming in from the airfight died due to partial share not gifting over the units and just falling down in this massive cloud right here. That's a lot of reclaim. Like a real lot of reclaim. There's a big shell flying. Is there an LT? Yes, there is. A disruptor has been built up by Kenny Lee and they are currently building a Scathos. However, I do not think that that will actually work out as... While this flank is currently in the east is still very stable. The middle is wide open. And there are no longer too many units out from Furnace Hales, so another push could easily just walk through. Well, okay, the middle isn't too far open as there are still 2 more crabs out from Kenny Lee. The Percies that I pointed out are now moving into the main base of Furnace. There's a lot of PD firing into that, I have missed that, and there is apparently still 1 chicken left, which will deal quite a lot of damage to those. But I'm not sure that that 1 chicken is going to be sufficient, and he does the PD. And yeah, the chicken is pretty low on health, it is about to go down. There it goes. There are still Percival's left, some with a lot of veterancy and thus a lot of HP. Like 10k HP on a Percival is just insane. And also 30 regen, that's basically an ACU. What I just missed was visible at the top of the screen, but I did not point it out. Hyper using the massive amounts of Strat Bombers they built up to snipe the commander of Furnace Haley, the remaining now being put onto the ACU of Kenny Lee. Taking Furnace pointing out in chat that there were no that many strats were not needed for 1 ACU, though I guess they were used on 2. Would have loved those to be shift sheet on both of them, but did work out in the end, so whatever. But with that, it is down to a 1v2 between Ayahuasca, Hyper and Karl Marx. I do not think Ayahuasca will be able to pull this back as they just lost all of their attacking units. And there is fire coming in from down here, so I think yes. A disruptor has been built up by Karl Marx. And with that, this disruptor will probably die very soon as well. Currently not firing, right, it's currently retargeting due to losing its order after being gifted over, receiving the auto target. Or maybe deliberately targeted? No, there's no target on that currently. Ayahuasca currently building up some more power with that ACU. With another push coming in, I'm not sure how far that will go, though there's a whole bunch of demolishers now placed right here that will definitely pour in a lot of damage into this navy. Right, those are currently targeted on these top bombers, not top bombers, on these top launchers. And with the general inaccuracy of those, they will probably deal with a lot of the additional stuff as well. However, a shit ton of T1 bombers were just utilized to deal with that. I think a whole bunch of that dropped on other bombers, thus taking a lot of these bombers out. But in the end, the RT did die, so it was worth it, I guess. I guess they did achieve their objective. Now more shells coming in, hitting the disruptor and dealing more damage to that. Another Maglev has been built up by Ayahuasca right here. But it's not in the front line, and there's another push coming in from Hyper now with that, with another Fat Boy and a whole bunch of Percies again. And as I already pointed out, there's no longer much to counter that, so that will probably just get through. The RT goes down. More RT is currently being built up by Marx. Another nuke out from Hyper. And that is going right here into the navy. Ayahuasca is fleeing the position, aware that they do not have SMD coverage. However, with that nuke landing there, they will basically lose their one of their core defenses with the navy. And without that, I don't think they will be able to really do anything at this stage. More pigeons being thrown up here, but not sure, does ayahuasca still need that? No, not really. They're also overflowing a lot of mass, so I think the writing is is on the wall. They will probably just die now. A lot of the Navy and the Navy HQ go down. And RTs do land on the base, though with most of the base being already gone, it's not too much damage. Some pigeons go down, but in the end it doesn't matter too much. And I'm again not too sure what experiment I hear right now. Does not sound like a chicken now. Might have been these bricks. Might have been bricks and posts firing. Yeah, I think that's what it was. Okay. These bricks again moving into the water using their small amount of torps against these torp launchers and destroyers, I guess. The brick torps not being that great. I mean, still better than the fat boy torps, I guess. Mass for mass. But anything is better than that, and that's not really a fair comparison. Like, 1 is still better, still more than 0, basically. Oh well, 0.1 in the case of Fat Boy, but a whole bunch of top bombers out from Hyper move in on the ACU of Ayahuasca, and you had a decent crate at the end, though that does not matter as it was literally at the end of the game, so who cares? But with that, the game is over. I hope you enjoyed this cast. If you enjoyed, or if you did, you could always like the video, or don't. That's your choice. You can also, if you want to get notified when more casts like these are coming out, you can always subscribe. There are currently always 3 casts a week coming out. And if you want to be notified when those do arrive, again, you can always subscribe. Anyways, hope you enjoyed, hope to see you again in a future cast or on Twitch. This was streamed live on Twitch, forgot to point it out, link to that will be in the description as well. But anyway, if you enjoyed, hope to see you again, and bye!